Hi and welcome to Hanwell Zoo. Today I am in our goat space. We've got 5 domesticated goats here at the zoo, and I'm in this space for a very specific reason, because all of our goats have horns, these very large protrusions coming from the tops of their heads, and they have horns because they are a kind of animal called a bovid. They belong to the bovid family, and all bovids, so cows and goats and sheep and antelope and bison and buffalo, they all have what we call horns, and horns are a very, very specific structure. So all horns have a very small inner core of bone that's connected to the skull with some connective tissue, but the majority of what makes up a horn is keratin, the same material that is in our fingernails and our hair. So the majority of what you can see on these horns is keratin. And the reason I'm picking that out in particular is because I want to talk about a different kind of animal, the family of cervids, so deer. They have something similar to horns, but we call them antlers. So they're in the same position on their heads. They usually have 2 of them if one hasn't fallen off, but it's made of a very, very different material. Antlers from cervids, so deer, are made of bone. They are not made of keratin like horns are, and that's the very, very specific difference between horns and antlers. Another difference between horns and antlers is that goats and other bovids have horns for life, whereas antlers, usually it's just the male deer that have antlers. They fall off just before winter, except for reindeer, because the females also have antlers. The male's antlers fall off before winter, but the female antlers stay on till about January, February time. So we know that when we look at Santa Claus's reindeer, because they all have antlers in all the pictures that we've seen, we know that Rudolph and her friends are all female. Now, as I mentioned, there's lots of different exceptions, but one particular exception I want to talk about is the rhino. Now, rhinos don't belong to cervids or bovids. They belong to a family of their own called the rhinos, funny enough, and they usually have 1 long horn on the front of their faces, sometimes 2, and that's made of the same material as bovid horns, so goat horns. It's still made of that keratin in our fingernails and our hair. Another confusion that some people have is when they see one of these. Now, this came to us from Heathrow Airport because someone very, very naughty was trying to bring it into the country, and they shouldn't have been, but Heathrow Airport kindly gave it to us and we use it in our education sessions. And as you've probably guessed, this is an elephant's tusk. Now, it's neither an antler nor a horn, and it's not made of keratin or bone. It's made of dentine. Now, dentine is similar to bone because they have the metal calcium in it, but dentine is what teeth are made of. It's the same material, exactly the same material as our teeth. And the main difference with dentine compared to bone, so the main difference between teeth and bones, is that bones are alive. They're a living tissue. They can heal and they can regenerate themselves, whereas dentine can't. If you break dentine, it doesn't grow back and it can't fuse itself back together. So hopefully that's cleared some things up. I really hope you learned something from this video. I do have a question for you little ones watching. I would like you to draw me 2 animals. One, an animal with horns, so a bovid, and 2, the second animal, an animal with antlers, so a cervid, a kind of deer. If you'd like, take a photograph of your pictures, post them below because I would really, really love to see them. And until next time, bye-bye.